Good morning, folks. It's a beautiful morning outside. 67 degrees. Randy and I are just coming back from breakfast, and we're going to get some stuff done today with this cool weather. We're going to get out in the garden and harvest some stuff and do something with it. So stick around. We've had some hot, dry weather here past couple weeks with some really dry winds, and boy, that just sucks the moisture out of everything, including you if you're outside. So a day like today, after a couple weeks of that, is just a godsend. We are loving this. I'm going to get some stuff done. Be a good day to work in the shop too, but I think I'm going to hold off the next shop project till tomorrow. So we're going to get some stuff harvested. We've got everything cleaned out of the greenhouse, so we don't have to pay attention to that anymore. But there's several things that we can pick out here in the garden. We've got some jalapenos, we've got some cabbage, we've probably got some more cucumbers and zucchini and some lettuce to deal with. But we're going to handle this one thing at a time because I'm going to do some preservation, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I want stuff to be as fresh as it can be, and you never know when you're going to get that phone call when you got to stop what you're doing. So we'll get the jalapenos picked first. Alright, we got our jalapenos picked. Jalapenos are very good at camouflaging yourself. No matter how many times you go over those plants, you're going to miss one or two of them. We got a good little mess of them. We got plenty to do a batch of our cowboy candy. Our cowboy candy is by far, I think, along with our zucchini relish, everybody's favorite. It's super good on pizza. I like it with a little bit of cream cheese on a cracker. Really good. It's kind of a sweet, hot flavor. Fantastic. So let's get inside and start processing these things. Now, the recipes that we're going to make during this video, we've already done on this channel, so we're not going to bore you with step-by-step stuff. But if you want to make any of this stuff, I will link the recipes up here at the end of the video, so you'll be able to do them if you want to. cowboy candy is done, so let's go do what we're going to do next. We picked a bunch of squash and cucumbers. But this one, cucumber, apparently got missed 2 or 3 times. So this one's destined for the chickens. Our girls love cucumbers. So I just slice them in half long ways and they do the rest. We're taking care of our cucumbers first. I've cut the ends off of a bunch. I use my mandolin with the wavy blade, and we've sliced some pickle chips. We're going to make a half-gallon jar using the leftover liquid from the cowboy candy. So these are going to be what we call sweet hot pickles, and I'm going to give them to my cousin because she loves anything pickled. There's a half a gallon of sweet hot pickles. Now those do not have to be canned because we're just going to put them right in the fridge and they're going to be eaten fresh as soon as they take on a little bit of that flavor. So no need to go through the canner, they'll be refrigerator pickles. So with the leftover cucumbers that we have, I'm going to try something I've been wanting to try for a while. We've never done naturally fermented pickles. So we're going to make some naturally fermented dill pickles, which was the way pickles were made back in the day before there was like processed vinegar readily available at the store. Everything was fermented and it naturally sours. So here's what we got to do. So this recipe does 1 quart jar of your pickles. So we've got the equivalent of 4 cloves of garlic in there. And then you want to add 1 grape leaf. So we'll stuff our grape leaf down in there in the bottom. You use the handle of my mixer thingy here to get it down in there. All right. And the next thing we're going to put in there is 1 dill flower. So we'll shove that down in there. And then 1 bay leaf. These things never come out whole. Close enough, I guess. So we got 1 bay leaf in there. Then we want to do 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns. There we go. All right, so we have all that in there. Now the brine is 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon of salt in 2 cups of water. And we've got that right here. So we're going to pack our pickles into the jar and then we'll pour the brine over them. All right, the recipe calls for the pickles to be packed loosely in the jar, and we've done that. That way the brine gets to all the pickles. Plus the wavy cut that we put on those also keeps the pickles from sticking together real flat to where the brine can't get to them. So all the salt is dissolved, and we've done a double batch of brine because we're actually going to do 2 jars of these pickles. So let's pour the brine in here up to the shoulder. That's what it says to do. And then we use one of these little pucks, the little glass puck that goes in on top of the pickles like that. Now we're probably going to have to dump a little bit of that brine out because I think we're a little too close to the top. But that glass puck holds the pickles down. And then we come in here with one of these burp lids and then just a regular ring over the top of that. So we'll come back when we're all done with that. Okay, there's our fermented pickles getting ready to go. Now you want the brine level in there, whereas if the puck was to completely submerge, the brine will not come up over the lip of the jar. So I'm going to go ahead and put our next jar together, and then these will be done. So our fermented dill pickles are done. We're going to leave them sitting over here on the counter. You leave them out at room temperature. It says it can take up to 2 weeks. It says fermentation should start within a few days, and you'll start seeing bubbles. And in about 2 weeks, these will be done, depending on the size of the pickle. But they said after about a week, you could try them if you wanted. And then once they're all done, you put a regular lid on them and put them in the fridge. And then that preserves them. So we'll let you know how these come out sometime in the future, because this is our first go-round. Now the next thing we're going to go out and pick is some zucchini and some yellow squash. And we're going to make up a batch of our zucchini relish. That's some good looking relish, isn't it? Now, unfortunately, you're not going to see the finish of this today because that has to be in salt for at least 12 hours. So that's going to be finished tomorrow. But the video I'll post at the end of this video will show you the whole process all the way to completion. So we're going to go put that relish in the downstairs fridge for it to sit. And then we're going to go out and pick the next item. Yeah, we're doing some more. Well, they were done with all the cucumbers, so now they've got some cabbage leaves, complete with some cabbage worms, and they're going to love those. Well, after the cabbage worms got their cut, this is what we got left. These 3 poor excuses for heads of cabbage, but I'm hoping there's enough here between these 3 to give me at least a quart jar of sauerkraut. So let's go in and clean this up and see what we're left with. We've got our 2 purple heads shredded up real good. We peeled the first few leaves off, make sure we didn't have any more cabbage worms in there, because fermented cabbage worms wouldn't be very appetizing. We've taken a tablespoon of salt and layered it in there as we were going. We're going to see if this is enough for a quart jar. Probably will not be. If it's not, we'll go ahead and use the green one as well. If it is enough, we'll use that for some coleslaw for dinner. But we're going to start mashing this up real good with our hands, and it'll start releasing some liquid, and then we'll start stuffing it in the jar. Working our cabbage together, you want to work it pretty aggressive with your hands. Abuse it pretty good. The liquid's going to start coming out of it. It's going to start breaking down. You can see now the liquid actually comes over the top of the cabbage, and that's what you're looking for. And we've made sauerkraut on this channel before, so we won't bore you with all the details. But we're going to put one of our little glass pucks on here and our little burp lid, and this is going to set and ferment. There you go, folks. That's going to be purple sauerkraut. We had an extra bottle and extra puck and everything, so I went ahead and made another jar of the sour fermented dill pickles. So hopefully we like those. I'm going to have one of the cookies that Kelly made on Saturday. We're going to leave the canner out because remember we got to finish up the zucchini relish in the morning. Now if you're interested in this fermentation kit, this is what it looks like. I purchased it last year. I've been using it for sauerkraut. But comes with everything you see there. So it's been a full day, folks. It's a little after 5. We've been after it all day long. But we took over the kitchen today and got some stuff done. Got some stuff picked out of the garden, which needed to get done. So going to have some ibuprofen with my cookie. Remember, we'll post those recipe videos up here if you're interested in those. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us at Mark Kelly Farm.